Hi, a very good morning and welcome to BNSN, the stock game. It's the final day of the game and I'm Megha Tada.
Hi there, I'm Devina Menon. Yes, as Megha pointed out, it's going to be a hell of an exciting session, as well as the trading day and how it pans out will determine who's going to be the winner of BNSN, the stock game for this week, which we're playing obviously with Ashwini Gujral, Ashish Kapoor and Sandeep Bagle, who you've been following from the start of the week. Explain the rules to you then once again. I'm sure you know it by now, but we give 5 lakhs rupees of notional money to 3 of our experts. They have to deploy this money into 4 stocks each. Now, one stock from those 4 stocks can be from the futures and options space in order to hedge their portfolio. They can short sell in the cash market as well, but those trades will be squared off intraday. On a daily basis, they have to churn 2 stocks compulsorily from their portfolio. They can churn more stocks if at all a target or a stop loss gets hit. This will continue all up until Friday, when the final winner, the person who made the most amount of money on the 5 lakh rupees that we've given them, will actually win and be declared the winner of the stock game. Let's focus on the portfolio then as of day 4 for Ashish Kapoor, Ashwini Gujral, as well as Sandeep Bagle, and how it shaped up yesterday. But before that, alright, we first take the portfolio and then welcome our expert. SRF, Honeywell Automation, Mahindra Satyam was what Ashish went long on. Sesa Goa is what he went short on. Coming to Ashwini's portfolio, we'll address those Union Bank numbers in just moments from now, but run you through Ashwini's portfolio as well. Gujarat Fluorochemicals, Zydus Wellness is what he went short on. Patel Engineering and Cadila were also short calls in his portfolio. And finally, coming on to Sandeep Bagle's portfolio, he has those 4 stocks in his portfolio. Havells was a short, Voltas was a short, Simplex and Subex were long in his portfolio. Union Bank PAT of 464 crore rupees versus 601 last time around. We were expecting a number of about 521 crore rupees. So this is coming below street expectations, and you can see the sharp reaction on the stock price as well right now. 3.5% lower, just fallen off the cliff. An expectation of 521 coming out with a PAT of 464 crore rupees. Remember, the net interest income has not yet come out on your screen, but there were expectations that the net interest income would come in at 1649 crores. Looking at the numbers, that would also probably have come in on the lower side. 1649 was the expectation versus 1348 on a year-on-year basis. Loan growth, however, was seen up 26%. We were expecting a jump there as well. That should also. NII is coming at 1600 crores. Yes, so about 49 crores short of what we've been talking about. But still, the disappointment has been on the PAT. That's fairly lower than what the street was expecting. The stock is now plummeted almost 4% and dropping further as we speak. 281 half is where it's currently trading at. Net interest NIMs were expected to fall by 35 basis points on a quarter-on-quarter basis to about 3.4%. Let's see how the NIMs have also panned out for them. Gratuity amortization of 75 crore rupees was something that the street was expecting, and we were expecting in our polls as well. Slippages, that is the main cause of concern because they were expected to go on rising. The internals have not yet come out, but this is what the 2 numbers that are flashed on your screen has caused about a disappointment on the street. So the PAT figure clearly disappointing. Expectation 521 crores, coming at 464 crores, and even the net interest income expecting about 1649, coming in at about 1600. That's the PAT figure, which is down 22% on a year-on-year basis. We will probably try and get our research analysts to dissect these numbers in greater detail and tell us what went wrong for the quarter for Union Bank. But as of now, clearly the street is giving it a thumbs down. Let's continue with the game then, and we've got our 3 experts, Ashish Kapoor, Ashwini Gujral, as well as Sandeep Bagle, all of them ready with us on the final day of the stock game. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining in. Ashish, let's start off with you with your new portfolio for day 5.
Yeah, what we have done is we are going plus on ITC, that's a future of July futures, and besides that in the cash market we are adding ITC and Pantaloon, and we are going short on Anantraj Industries to kind of hedge the portfolio.
And Ashwini, going across to you, you've got a fresh new portfolio for today as well?
Yeah, today we are going long on India Glycol, Hexaware, UTV Software, and short on JSW Energy Futures.
Alright, so some bit of a positive outlook there on Ashwini's portfolio, just one short coming in there. And Sandeep, your portfolio on day 5?
We have a short in Voltas July futures. We expect the down move to continue a little bit of the market when it starts falling. I don't expect the market to go up anyway one way. We have a buy in NIIT, we have a buy in India Bulls, and we have a buy in Suzlon. And my view is that nearer 5500 we will see buying, as I mentioned yesterday. and a broad range is 5500 to 5680. So stock specific moves will continue. So we have a 3 buy 1 sell strategy.
All right, 3 buy 1 sell, that's pretty much the strategy that everyone has adopted. But let's quickly run you through the calculator plays right now to tell you where each of our experts are positioned at this point. You never know what can happen, but still the lead is pretty evident there. Ashish Kapoor, that's his portfolio. Anantraj is where he's losing money right now. Overall, 7,500 rupees, closer to 8,000 rupees is what he's making. Coming to Ashwini Gujral on his portfolio, remember day before yesterday, a really spectacular move is what we saw, and he's maintained that level there. 15.5% return on his portfolio, 78,000 rupees is what Ashwini is making. You need a miracle to happen if at all this needs to be taken down. Sandeep Wagle and his portfolio there, Voltas is where he's losing. Indiabulls Financials is also where he's losing. He's making money in a Suzlon and an NIIT. But still, overall, his portfolio is losing out 1% in the session. Individual stocks then, let's not waste any more time. You've seen the performance of their portfolios. Let's find out which stocks are contributing and how much and why have our experts selected them. Ashish, let's start off with you first on Pantaloons Retail. Considering today we're going to have some meeting regarding FDI in retail, probably this is the time to take a pick on Pantaloons Retail.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the logic which we have used. Because the company of secretaries are meeting today to take a decision on allowing multi-brand retail. Even if the decision is not taken, but if we do get some positive announcements or some roadmap on the way ahead, the clear beneficiary is going to be Pantaloons. It's the largest player. It has a lot of exposure. It's doing to different formats of organized retail. And it's doing fairly well in spite of whatever slowdown one has talked about. The results have still been very outstanding. It has, and also it's on a great expansion spree. It has added about 1 million square feet in the last financial year, and plans to add another 2 million odd, retail space in this financial year. So the company is really doing very well, is expanding also, and moment the decision on FDI retail comes, which our opinion is that even if it is not taken today, it is something which is inevitable. It has to happen in the next few quarters. So I think it's a fairly good stock to bet on, but for the moment I think if some positive announcements do happen today, then this stock can really fire up. So for the time being, we are having a target on this for 350 and a stop loss of 310.
Okay, so Pantaloons Retail there up about 0.6%. Not just that, in fact today you should be keeping an eye out on for Shoppers Stop or Footons Retail as well, Vishal Retail as well, given the FDI need that's coming up. But Ashwini, your first pick for the day is in India Glycol, and we've seen the counter hit a high of 169 today. You've decided to go long on that one with a target about 180, and it's seen very good momentum over the last month or so. In fact, it's gained about 50% in the last month alone.
Yeah, that's the reason of buying it. It's moving up with extremely good volume. It had touched 158 and then it corrected sharply to 143. Now yesterday's move started from 143, and in a single day it came right up to levels of closed at 162. So this is the kind of stock that you should be long on. So for the day, we've decided to buy with a stop of about 154 and a target of 180, which may or may not happen today, but this is the kind of stock which could continue to move up regardless of the market.
All right, a stock which could continue to move up. 180 may not be achieved today, may be achieved today, but you can still keep it in your portfolio. The stock's done well in the last 7 days and even in the last 1 month, showing spectacular move, and Ashwini has liked that one. On to Sandeep Wagle. Sandeep, you've got your first shot coming about in your portfolio, and that's on our Voltas July futures. Why have you chosen to shun this one, if I may say so?
Well, Lavina, it is breaking down the way it was down yesterday. Though it is up today, it is because of the market, and the moment the market starts or stops going up and starts correcting a bit, I think Voltas will be the stock to lead the fall. And we have a target of around 135. We have at a current level it is just around a little over 0.5% up, but I think sooner or later, in a few hours, or maybe it may be beyond a day, but I see a target of 130 to 135 coming in, and which is where I have taken a chance. Possibly today is a Friday and you can see a big move, and in case the market corrects, I think this stock will lead the fall, as I say. So I have a target of 135 and a stop loss of 150.30 in the July futures.
Okay, so if the market corrects, we could probably be seeing those levels on a Voltas July futures today itself. But Ashish, going to your next pick, and you've decided to go long on a DLF. You know, we've had news coming in about the promoters rejigging the shareholding. Really, you know, the promoters' children, really, the shareholding pattern getting rejigged between the two. The Cantor's doing, pretty well. It's up about 0.6%. What was your rationale for picking it?
Well, real estate seems to be coming back to the extent that at least the larger, more well-established players are seeing buying. And in DLF's case, I think it has a proven legacy of executing projects on time and good execution skills. So market clearly seems to be liking that. And also, I think regardless of the bearish environment on real estate as a whole, DLF as a company seems to be getting its act together. They are focusing more on shorter cycle plot sales. They are also reducing debt in a very systematic way. And I think going ahead, we are fairly bullish on DLF and some of the other more established players, and also some players like Indiabulls Real Estate, which have good balance sheet strength. So I think going ahead, in the earlier phase, markets were punishing nearly all real estate stocks. Now I think going ahead, it will be very selective basis. The stocks which are having good balance sheets and having good promoter background and good execution skills will slowly start moving up. So DLF is clearly one such stock. So we are fairly bullish on it from these levels. And for the moment, for the day, we have a target of 265 with a stop loss at 230.
All right, for the day, 265 is the target there. On a DLF, Ashish, liking that counter, over the last 1 month, it's risen 15% in a very uncertain environment, so to speak, as well. Ashwini, to your pick, and you've chosen a mid-cap IT boy here. Hexaware is what you selected. You know, recently we had good news. The stock rallied up on an announcement of a deal with a UK-based company. So that stock did well then. What's the rationale for picking it up now, and what are the charts telling you?
How do you know it's a boy? Well, we can buy Hexaware. You know, it's generally done well. It's broken out again from a sideways type consolidation. So, you know, if you keep a stop of about 75, we've seen NIT Tech, NIT, all of them moving higher. So chances are this could head up to 85 in the short run.
We could see some good moves coming in on that one. It's just about 4 rupees off from the target that Ashwini set out on that count. But Sandeep, your next pick also from the mid-cap IT pack, and NIIT. We've had the results also come out recently, you know, for the company. Sequentially, the revenues rose by about 4%. The margins, though, did see some bit of pressure. But today, you've gone long on that one.
Well, yesterday it has given a very clear and a decisive breakout accompanied by volumes at a level of 57.50, 57.60, and today the up move has continued, and we call it a inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is quite a bullish pattern. So I expect that it can go up 5-6 rupees from here, and our target is 62.50, stop loss of 56.30, which is just hardly less than 2 rupees. And I expect a 1:3 risk to reward ratio over the next few days. Possibly it may not happen today, but I'm quite upbeat and bullish on this stock.
All right, quite upbeat and bullish on an NIIT. Target of 62.5 is what Sandeep has given out. Ashish, we've got both Ashwini as well as Sandeep picking out one counter from the mid-cap, IT flavor. What's the overall call on the sector as a whole, particularly mid-cap stocks, maybe in Mphasis or even a Volta, Polaris, all these counters? Polaris also came out with its numbers earlier on.
Well, we quite like some of the stocks. I think on Tuesday I had chosen eClerx. We quite like stocks like eClerx, like Persistent Systems. There are a number of such stocks which are available at very decent valuations, and the companies are doing fairly well. I also think that going ahead, so far we have seen the bullishness only in the large cap space of IT, but I think going ahead, this bullishness has to percolate down to select mid-cap stocks. So I think go for quality mid-cap IT stocks. I think some of them are quoting at ridiculously low valuations, and somehow the market is not noticing that the fundamentals have really improved, and some of the companies are actually doing very well. So we quite like a number of stocks. We like Zilog Systems, we like Persistent Systems, we like eClerx. So we like a couple of other counters as well. So there are a number of good picks in the IT mid-cap space.
Okay, so that's the call coming in on the mid-cap IT pack. But let's pull up the calculator placed for all our guests to see how they're placed currently. So for Ashish Kapoor, Pantaloon Retail is working out rather well. DLF as well as the ITC July futures. Anant Raj though causing quite a bit of pain, down about 2.5%. So overall making about 2%, 10,000 odd rupees. Ashwini Gujral, a bit of pain coming in on a JSW Energy July future, but the other three counters, of course, giving him very good results, continuing to hold on to that lead at about 77,000 odd rupees. And if you pull up Sandeep's portfolio as well, Voltas as well as Indiabulls Financials are causing some bit of discomfort, but NIIT Tech as well as Suzlon, both of them working out rather well for him. But it's 7,000 rupees of losses roughly on for Sandeep Wagle.
Alright, and if you want to know who the winner is going to be of BNS in the stock game for this week, is it going to be our all-time winner, Ashwini Gujral, who's not lost a single time, whether he's going to win it this time as well, or it's going to be debutant Ashish Kapoor, or even Sandeep Wagle can take if the tables turn and the markets turn in his favor. Who's it going to be? We're going to find out at 3:30 this afternoon.
And well, here's how you can participate on Buy Now Sell Now, your one-stop shop for all your queries. You can write into us at bnsn@etnow.tv. You could also message us at 58888. You could also call in and join us live on 022 24837 111.
Hi there, welcome back. You're watching BNS in the stock game right here on ET Now. Let's focus on stocks number 3 and stocks number 4 for all our 3 experts. We'll begin with Ashish Kapoor and his pick, which is an Anant Raj, but this time around he's gone short on that counter. Ashish, though recently we had fundamental news about it launching a 125-acre township. That's the reason why you saw the stock moving up recently. And after that run up, Ashwini had also recommended a sell on it, considering how swift the run up was. Today, even you are recommending a sell on it.
Well, clearly, I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think in the real estate segment, one has to go with the larger, more well-established players, and more importantly, go with players where either the debt level is coming down or the debt level is already in a very comfortable situation. In Anant Raj's case, the company is focusing on the NCR segment, and a very large part of the exposure is in the commercial and retail space, where the offtake is definitely slowing down. And the other negative is that the debt in the balance sheet is actually increasing in a very significant way. So we don't like this kind of a scenario. I think the company is going to face a lot of problems, and if you look at the recent news, they are having a lot of problem in leasing out their commercial projects. And with the rising interest rate scenario, the company can face a lot of problem in trying to service its debt. So we feel that with the real estate space, there will be a definite move towards the larger, more well-established, or the fundamentally or the companies which have better balance sheet with them. So we are advocating a sell on Anant Raj, and even on a delivery basis, I think from Anant Raj and these kind of stocks, one can move into more well-established and better managed companies. But for the day, we have a target of 74 with a stop loss at 85.5.
Although Ashish doesn't like that counter, fundamentally that one just about 1 rupee off from that stop loss that he set out for it. And UTV Software is your third pick, Ashwini. Fundamentally the company has grand expansion plans, and technically as well, we've seen the counter rise by about 54% from the start of this year. Today, in fact, it's hit a fresh 52-week high as well.
Well, whenever some movies do well, this stock generally tends to perform well. Yesterday it moved up on fairly decent volume after a sideways move. That's generally an indication that there could be further gains. So you can buy this with a stop about 840 and a target about 920 is possible here.
Alright, a target of 920 possible. 871 is where it's currently trading at. A good move, at least 0.7% higher in today's session itself. Sandeep Wagle, your third stock, you've picked out an Indiabulls Financial Services. Why?
Indiabulls financial services is making a pattern. Actually, I have preempted this pattern. If it manages to break 185 today, it can run up to more than 200 plus. And I preempted this pattern looking at yesterday's price and volume. Though it is down today, I must admit, I think it may not happen today. But over the next week or so, I see this is a rounding bottom pattern, and once above 185, this stock will run up very, very fast. And our target today is 195, but it can go beyond 205, 207. That should be the target in the next week, and the stop loss is 176.50.
Okay, so that one could run up beyond the 200 levels over the next week. But FMCG major ITC is your next pick, Ashish. You've decided to go long on that one. In fact, we've seen in the cash market that one hitting a 52-week high today.
Well, I think ITC is one company which is going to do very well now. There have been a lot of benefits that the company is getting. After many years, this union budget did not tamper with the excise duty on cigarettes. And this, coupled with the recent price hike, means that the company will enjoy very good margins in their cigarette business. And their expansion into the other businesses, including FMCG, organized retail, and all are doing very well. In the organized retail, they are experimenting with different formats. In the paper and packaging division, they are undergoing a very significant capacity expansion, and some of that result will be evident in this financial year itself. So company is doing very well on various fronts, and also it's a defensive stock. So moment you have a lot of uncertainties in the market, it is a good place to hide in. And we have gone on the futures this thing because it's a very stable stock, so the risk is low, so one can even leverage on this stock. And though we feel that in the coming couple of months it can hit a target of around 240, but for the day we are giving a target of 215 with a stop loss at 200.
All right, ITC July futures is what Ashish has gone long on. Just to pull up those exclusive flashes that are coming up on your screens before we go ahead and address the last two stocks. IRDA chairman talking about the guidelines, the final IPO guidelines to be coming out in July, talking about the 3-year profitability criteria that was there to be done away with. That's probably not going to be necessary here on the 3-year profitability clause for listing done away with, and some more flashes, so keep an eye out for that as well. Markets in a healthy mood, about 1.5% higher. Ashwini, JSW Energy. Last week we had all our experts on one particular day going long on the counter on the back of news that it was going to get included in the futures and options segment. The stock also did well in anticipation of that, probably factoring that in. You've got a sell call on the JSW Energy. What is your expectation from the stock?
Well, that's not such great news that it can keep taking the stock higher. Maybe people have now started going short on it because it fell fairly heavily on large volume yesterday. There are lots of problems in this power type of space, coal, land, all kinds of things. So this is probably one of the last spaces which will move higher. Rates are another issue. So overall, this stock has not performed too well. So we have decided to go short on JSW Energy futures with a stop of about 75 and a target of about 64.
Okay, so that's the call coming in on a JSW Energy futures. But Sandeep, your last pick, you've got a Suzlon. We had some bit of fundamental news coming in yesterday that the company is looking to increase its stake in the RE Power subsidiary. Not just that, we've seen that counter recover from the lows of 45 odd we've seen in the month of June, and today as well it's showing some good share in the market.
Well, Megha, this is a stock which I have been very, very bearish over the last 6 to 8 months or probably a year, and I have not been liking the pattern, and it has been staying sideways or possibly making lower tops, lower bottoms. I think April is the first time it gave some hint of a up move, and in the short term I see an inverse head and shoulder pattern breakout, and yesterday was a very, very clear price breakout supported by volumes, and the target of this pattern comes to somewhere around 60-62. At a level of 53, it makes a very clear 15 to 20% upside, though not in a day. That may take a week or two. But for the day, I expect the stock to move somewhere around 57-60, which is what my target is. And my stop loss is just 1.5 rupees at 50.50. So I hope that happens. But even if that doesn't happen, position traders can do well. Taking the stock, buying the stock now and taking a 2 to 3 week view for a 10, 12, 15% upside.